We're diving into the mysterious, manipulative, and slightly shady world of the New York Times Bestseller List, the literary club everyone wants to join, but no one knows the rules of. And that is what our episode is going to be on.
How was your trip, Ashmita?
Oh, it was
How was
so
your trip,
good.
Ashmita?
The weather was fuck all, right? It was absolutely fuck all. It was so hot. I think my allergies are 100% now heat related. Because as soon as I landed back in Delhi, it was completely fine.
I think we're used to the polluted air and polluted, environment.
I think
As
that's
soon as
another
you go
theory,
to,
yes.
yeah,
I think I should now go back to my dermatologist because this is just getting crazy. But it was such an amazing, relaxing trip. But it was also so fucking hot we couldn't do anything. So we just sat in our resort and looked at the sea from the resort only. And a couple of really weird things also happened. Prakhar, I need to tell you about this. I ended up drinking descaling solution.
what?
Those descaling solutions that you use in like home, like appliances to remove the limestone, lining.
Yeah.
So my sister's electric kettle sort of keeps getting that limestone lining. Okay, and
How hard is the water there?
I don't know. We drink it like directly from the tap, so I don't know.
I mean, clearly that means that there is a significant amount of like salt in it, hard salts in that
Yeah.
water, right?
Iron.
Yeah, right.
So why are you not like filtering it before consuming?
I should tell my sister to do that. That's a very good
Yes.
point, Sandy.
Yeah.
I will. In fact,
I mean,
this
clearly
time-
the water is extremely hard there, no? So you need
Yeah.
some kind of filtration before you consume it. No, why are you consuming so many salts? Too much of salts is also a bad thing for your body.
Yeah. When she comes here this time, I'll just. She's coming next month. No, I'll just buy the filter that you get, like in Bombay Bombay tap water you can
Yeah.
have, right? But you put the filter.
No, but Bombay water and Delhi water, they both of them are very bad.
Because when I was in
Yeah.
Bombay long back, at that time, when I went to buy an RO, the guy told me, he was like, don't buy an RO. It's absolutely fine to just buy a filter, like the tap water filter, and just
Yeah,
use
yeah.
water there because it's potable enough. But anyway, so
Yeah, story.
she put the descaling solution in the water and she left it and she went to office. And I went to get my next cup of coffee, and then I saw the whole thing filled. And I was using premix packets that she had gotten. I really liked those. So I was like,
Yeah.
let me try these. And I put I mean, heated up the water and I put it in the cup. I put the premix. And then I was like, it tastes disgusting. Okay, what is up? So then I put some more water. I was like, maybe there's little water. So I put some more water, tasted again. It was still disgusting. Then I was like, maybe this premix is expired. So let me try another one. I took again. I put another one. It still tasted disgusting. Then I was like, let me maybe add some milk. So I added some milk. It still tasted disgusting. And throughout this period, it did not hit me that one, I cannot see the black, like
The bottom of the.
yeah, the lining, which was supposed to be descaled, that is not
Yeah.
there in the kettle. And also, right in the morning when I woke up, I saw my sister had put out a descaling solution packet. That is nowhere around. It did not strike me. So I fully just consumed descaling solution. And then I had like a stomach ache for a while. I was super panicked. And my response to the panic was sitting down and sort of reading. I think okay, we are going to beep this out, but she has rubbed off on me. So what I did was, instead
Very
of
strong statements you are making that she rubbed up. I don't know where you got that information from, but I think
rubbed off on me.
Yeah. I think we need to get her side of the story as well, where she rubbed up, why she rubbed up, all of those things. Because you can't just make silly claims like these without getting, some sort of story from the horse's mouth.
You know what I'm saying.
Do I
Anyway,
though? Half
anyway,
the times
so
I'm just guessing what you're saying.
okay, let me complete the story. So instead of checking with a doctor or something, I sat down and I started reading up everything I could find about it. Thankfully, it was only food grade citric acid as the main ingredient, so nothing happened. I just had a stomach ache till the end of the day and I had to have so much water to flush it out of my system. But I went into
Hmm.
such a bad, rabbit hole, dude. I read like two research papers, one about a study made on a prisoner who had consumed a few liters of descaling solution because that's all he had access to and had to be after 6 hours was taken to the hospital. So how he recovered from that, nothing to do with me, okay? I just spent the entire day doing that. But I'm
Wow.
okay. Yeah.
Okay, on that topic, since it is food grade citric acid or whatever, I mean, there are other ways around that. Maybe you could pass this on to your sister. Maybe a simple lime juice, vinegar, any of those things will work just as good as your
Yeah.
paketed stuff for descaling stuff. And they're much more organic and natural. And they do just as good a job, if not better.
If
So,
the paketed stuff is also like citric acid only, how does it make a difference? It's not.
I mean, it'll be cheaper also, no? Like you get a
Yeah.
lemon.
And
Lemon will always be significantly cheaper than your packeted stuff. Even vinegar, especially in Southeast Asian cooking, vinegar is used way too much,
Yeah.
right? So vinegar is very
also less
widely
plastic.
available. Yes, less plastic. It's widely available and it's easily accessible, and it'll be much cheaper than your whatever this stuff is.
Fair.
And maybe just if you consume that, you can say you're having a lemonade or something, no? But with the
Yes,
packeted thing, you can't say anything.
the
You can't be
worst case
sure of
scenario will
anything.
yeah, the worst case scenario will be you'll be having a hot lemonade. I mean, you won't die out of it. It'll be very unpleasant, but it'll still be fine. You'll live, you know.
Okay, I will let her know. Pretty sure
Yeah.
she's not going to change anything, but I will let her know.
But at least she won't have you to, consume whatever she's doing in her house.
Yeah.
So it's
Like she
fine.
won't have to like handhold people from not and stop people from drinking descaling solution, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is very important for my segue, Ashmita. So please indulge me. So I wanted you to talk a bit about your time that you spent in Changi Airport. How was it? How did it feel like? What all did you do there? I'm
Uh,
sure you spent a significant amount of time at that airport because you always keep waxing lyricals about that.
I was very young when I spent
No,
like a
Abhi,
lot of
this
time.
time also, no, you were in the airport when
Yeah,
I
but I
spoke
did
to you,
not
right? The
spend.
last
Yeah,
time.
but I did not like my flight was at 7:30. I reached at 5:30. I didn't have too much time. It was like immigration is literally in less than a minute. It's an amazing airport. There are a couple of really nice things. There's like a sunflower garden over there. There was also a movie theater, but I couldn't obviously watch a movie because I had like an hour. There's a sort of a gym there. It's a time pass sort of a gym. You can do punch on the whatever things they have constructed for punching practice and all of that. There's something called a dreamscape, which was in my terminal, the terminal I was at. So yeah, Singapore, say Changi Airport is a beautiful place, and you just
Yeah.
end up walking around and seeing this, and I had kopi and kaya toast, which is amazing. So yeah, what's your segue then, Sandy?
Yeah. On the topic of airports, I know like both of you are aware of this. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was in Chennai. So I had gone for some work. So while I was coming back from Chennai, obviously I was there at the airport and we were there like a couple of hours ahead of time. With time to kill, obviously I was meandering around and I was there was another colleague with me over there. So he had gone off to smoke and go to the bathroom and whatever. So I had like 5-10 minutes. I wandered around. I came across this, those standard airport bookstores that you come across,
Yep.
right? And while I was browsing through the titles there at the bookstore, and obviously almost all of these books are books that I will pretend that I have read, but I never will read because I just could not care less about those books, right?
Yeah, they are mostly self-help nonsense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And literally, like any other person who judges any book by their cover, I also tend to do that.
Of course, there are far
And
too many books. Yes.
yes. And I'm pretty sure you guys won't find it very hard to believe that pretty much every single book had that shiny got tear sticker on it. New York Times bestseller.
Yeah.
Yes, and this is, I'm not even exaggerating. Every second book almost has this New York Times bestseller
Yeah.
sticker on it. And that got me wondering how. Like, how did, okay, 1 to 5 books in this entire bookstore, I buy that. Not like 600 books in this entire bookstore are New York Times bestseller. Like, how many people are consuming so many amount of books, right? Who the fuck is deciding all of that? And
Yeah.
and did they just forget to make a, if everything is on the bestseller, and which book is on the mediocre seller then? Like, which book is considered mediocre now? Who is deciding all of this shit? So all of this led me down a pathway which almost always leads to existential crisis of some kind. And this this led me down this particular rabbit hole, which had me wanting to know a couple of things. A, who decides this fucking list, right? I mean, the easiest guess would be New York Times because that's in the fucking name. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little more complexity to it than that. Second is it just based on the sheer volume of sales, right? That's a very natural question, right? So a book sells whatever 100,000 copies in a week, probably deserves a spot on the list. But what if a book only sells 2,000 copies on the list, and not every single book can sell 100,000 copies a week? So is it just based on the sheer number of books sold? And thirdly, and why does it feel like everyone and their drunk uncle who are self-published claim to be a best-selling author? And that is literally the case. And none of this is an exaggeration because that is genuinely the case. Everyone, even the self-published people, have this sticker on their books, right? And self-publishing usually means that literally no one else, no publishing house in the country which wanted to take you up on your book.
Yes.
And yet somehow you ended up on the list, right? How is that even possible? So today, we're diving into the mysterious, manipulative, and slightly shady world of the New York Times bestseller list, the literary club everyone wants to join, but no one knows the rules of. And that is what our episode is going to be on.
Nice. Exciting.
You can remove the
Yeah.
word best-selling list, and manipulative, shady can still describe the New York Times perfectly. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. But we're not going in that direction. This is specifically about
Yeah,
the
one
books,
specific
the bestseller
part.
list.
But I would like
Yeah.
listeners to fully extrapolate to the New York Times as
I
a
mean,
whole.
we leave that to your own wisdom and devices, so you can do that
Sure.
as you see fit. Yeah.
Sure.
But why is New York bestsellers like a benchmark? Why isn't there like a New Delhi bestseller?
I mean, come
Or
on.
like,
Prakhar, why do you
I know.
think?
No, but like why only New York bestseller?
I'll
Why
tell you
aren't there
why.
more better places?
I think from a branding standpoint, first movers advantage. New York Times were the first who did this, started doing this compilation of lists. And secondly, it's very similar to what Guinness did with the Book of World Records, right? So you have your Limca Book of World Records, and there are a million other books of world records. But Guinness almost always stands out because it's the first of its kind. It's the oldest of its kind. And it's most well known, right? And my guess is it's a first mover advantage. New York Times was the first to do it, any list of its kind, and similar with the case of Guinness Book of World Records. And that's
Makes
actually a
sense.
very interesting story. I'll try and explore that in one of these episodes when both of you have forgotten, probably in 2 days from now. So that's fine.
That is fair.
I don't know why you're shaking your head, Prakhar. You know it is true. We get into the meat of the episode now. So the first section is, what even is the New York Times bestseller list? And why does it matter so much to all of these authors and their self-published uncles, right? So let's start with the very basics. The New York Times Bestseller List began in 1931. So, as you can tell, it's pretty old, almost 100 years old now. Back then, it was just a small chart in the New York Times' book review section, tracking which titles were selling well in a handful of New York City bookstores, which sort of adds up, right? That's how any sort of
Mm.
book list would have started around that time. Then we quickly fast forward to 1942, and they expanded it to reflect national sales because apparently books sold in Cleveland or Texas or Ohio or even Idaho mattered to them, despite them being a New York Times bestseller list, right?
Why
So
even Idaho? Why did you particularly do that fuck you to Idaho?
I don't know. Idaho is a potato state, so make of that what you will. You can draw your own conclusions.
Wow. Okay, then.
I don't think there'll be anyone from Idaho listening to us, but in case someone comes across, nothing but love for potatoes, man, and nothing but love for Idaho as well. Anyway, so by the 1970s, being on the list became like literally, I'm not exaggerating when I say this, it literally became a wet dream for any aspiring author. And I don't know why wet dreams are supposed to be a good thing. I don't
So
know why
that's
you're
why
making a
I'm
face.
smiling. We are both
Prakhar made
little
a face.
no, Prakhar also smiled.
He made kind of face first. By the 70s, it became such a big deal that every aspiring author and their uncle was wanted to be on this list, right? And it wasn't just quote unquote look how many books I sold thing. It was like a badge of honor. It is sort of the publishing equivalent of a Michelin star.
Mhm.
So like any decent restaurant would strive to get a Michelin star, the same applied to the New York Times bestseller list. It was this badge of honor for any author, any aspiring author to have that on their cover. It basically meant you as a reader absolutely had to get your hands on that particular book. That's why, I mean, makes sense, right? Today, there are over 15 different lists. Obviously, I'm not going to go through each and every one of them, but some of them include hardcover fiction, paperback nonfiction, young adult, graphic novels, advice or miscellaneous, which is honestly a genre for people who write books about folding clothes or fasting for 14 hours or something about intermittent fasting or stuff like that, you know. This is also the section where, surprise Ashmita, your favorite genre of books also comes under this section, the self-help
Self-help.
books.
Yep.
You know, this falls under, as you might imagine, the advice and miscellaneous section. I mean, I can pause for a second here if you want to bring out Chetan Bhagat or someone right about now. I mean,
Chetan Bhagat doesn't write self-help. Chetan Bhagat
yeah, I know.
writes, I don't even know where he would be categorized. Like, none of those categories seem appropriate.
Probably young adult or something.
No, there's so many great young adult books. Yeah, shit, poop emojis would be the appropriate category for Chetan Bhagat, Ravinder Singh, Durjoy Datta. Have you seen Durjoy Datta's Instagram where he puts up a whiteboard and he writes his own quotes there, and he's not a good author. So, God. Anyway,
You
please
know,
continue.
for every each and every one of my episode, wherever I feel the need, as I script a paused interaction for you to, break loose. So this was a scripted pause here. So that's why I was sort of prodding you if you wanted to say something about self-help books or Chetan Bhagat, because
In
I know
my
it's very easy to
defense,
do that.
in my defense, I was not saying anything. You nudged me, and that's why I said so.
That is why it was a planned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a planned this thing. It was scripted. Anyway, back to the topic. How about now? Like, is it still considered a pretty big deal to have that NYT bestseller, sticker on your book cover?
I have no
Unfortunately,
idea.
unfortunately, it is. It is still a big deal, and there's a reason why. It means you'll likely sell more books, obviously, for starters, because it's a branding thing also, right? So people
No,
see
but wait a
that
second. If
sticker.
everyone is doing it, so either I am buying all the books, or like if that makes you sell more books, then and everyone is doing it, then how am I
Also,
selecting books? How?
also like just by the sheer number, I think for years now, like at least for a decade, the way I have selected books is by recommendations. So either
Hmm.
people and random places, like one of my professors whose blogs I follow, he once wrote about some book that he had read, and I responded to him saying that I like talking about something because I had read a book similar to that topic and I recommended it to him, and then we followed each other on Goodreads, and now I just keep adding the books that he recommends over there because I like his taste in books. That's how you end up reading. I don't think people buy by looking at, like, that's why Goodreads is such
No,
a massive thing,
I,
no?
I disagree with you because you are a voracious reader, right? You are someone who loves to find out, discover books, and read them. That is not the case necessarily for everyone, right? A lot of people, like you said, depend on recommendations. A lot of people like to discover shit on their own. So, and there are some very casual readers, like just people like the example I gave you. I was at an airport when I came across this bookstore. There are people who have nothing else to do and they're looking for something to read on their flight, on the 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour flight. So it's a branding thing also, right? You enter the bookstore, you find this sticker, oh my god, it's a New York Times bestseller, so it probably might be good. That's why you go and buy that. That's a very realistic scenario because this happens more often than you realize.
Mm.
So yeah, it not only means that you'll likely sell more books, it also means that you as an author will get invited to more panels and get a speaker opportunity because you are again quote unquote a New York Times bestseller, right? You'll get your TEDx, your TED Talks, you will get more panel discussions. You will go to probably some college and provide some speech there, a graduation ceremony speech. Stuff like that happens. You'll get a lot of these esteemed speaker opportunities when you are considered a New York Times bestseller as an author. And there's a very good chance that your memoir or your book will get turned into some kind of a Netflix original series somewhere down the line. That
No,
is also
that is
something that
not.
happens.
No, man. That is.
What do you mean? No, that literally happens.
Yes, but with the number of New York Times bestseller, there's not a very good chance of that happening. There's a very, very limited chance of that happening. I know that books have gotten converted into series and will
Yeah.
get converted into series forever. I'm just saying
Hmm.
that the percentage of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
published.
That's
Yeah.
why I said. That's why I said it's likely. It's not necessary that it will get done. It's likely because the more number of books you sell, the more captive audience you have. The same captive audience might be inclined to watch a show or a movie based on your book, right? So you have a captive audience there. Like it's very similar to the case of comic book movies also, man. There's a significant, a lot of the people who watched those movies were people who started reading off those comic books, right?
Okay,
And
I'm
then
not
once.
making my point clearly. So let's say in 1 week there are 1,000 books
Hmm.
published. Okay, or a
Hmm.
hundred for simplicity, 100 books published, out of which 90 end up in the New York Times bestseller list.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
and in a week, the amount of say books taken up to be series are say two. So if
Hmm.
you are in the chances are still 2 out of 90. That is a very
Hmm.
low that's what I'm saying. That coming to New York Times bestseller list is not even likely that you are ending up in, I mean, like the numbers sound very improbable to me. But anyway, that is not the point here. Like, the point is very different though. Like, it is about New York Times
Yeah.
bestseller lists. So let's
Okay.
continue.
Let me put it this way. The odds of you getting a show or a movie out of your book if you're not on the list are significantly lower than the odds
Yeah,
of you
fair.
getting. Yeah,
Fair.
that's
Yeah,
what I was trying to say,
fair, fair.
right? Because that is a ready-made branding for you. You're already out there. The visibility is there. Makes
But what
sense,
are the
right?
odds of getting your book into New York bestsellers?
I don't know the exact maths behind it, but there's a method to the madness. I'll tackle that.
Hmm.
So on this topic, now that we have slightly digressed anyway, so you guys know who Reese Witherspoon is, right? The actress
Yes.
Reese
Yeah,
Witherspoon.
yeah, yeah.
She's also on that morning show that you love so much, Ashmita.
Yeah.
So
I know Reese Witherspoon. Otherwise, also, I feel a little insulted. She has a very popular book club. Her production company is
yes,
amazing. I know her, Sandy.
yeah. That's what I was referring to. She has a very popular book club, and her production company, the way she conducts her business is she has the first refusal thing for several books that her book club takes up. So her book club not only gives publicity to those indie authors or whoever the authors are, but she has the right for first refusal to turn them into either a show or a movie or whatever. And then she can, once she passes from them, then it's out in the ether if someone else wants to pick up. That's sort of her business model, which might I add is extremely smart, very intelligent thing to do,
Excellent.
a very good way to go about. Yeah. Like it's a great business model because you will get the rights also on the cheap. From an economic standpoint, you are this
Mhm.
unknown author who is getting free publicity out of it. You will get some money, but not the same extent probably when you are already sold a million copies, right?
And also, she makes, like, has concentrated a lot on women centric themes, women
Yeah.
authors, so women filmmakers. I think it's great.
Hmm.
Against my better judgment, I'll try and throw out a question here. If you guys can.
Wow. The amount of confidence you're showing on us today is amazing. Go ahead.
All of
Time for me
these
to
have
leave.
all of this has been informed from my previous experiences, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So
That's what all
anyway,
prejudiced people say. Like, it's not just you.
anyway, so like, can either one of you recall some or any of New York Times bestsellers that you may have come across or read in the past, and something that stands out to you? Feel free to throw out some names here. And while you're thinking on that, let's take a minute to think on that. And in the meantime, maybe our listeners can take a very short break to listen to these exciting mid roll ads. And we'll see you on the other side.
Exciting.
Now that we're back from those mid roll ads, Ashmita, Prakhar, any NYT bestseller books that you can think of? Some, maybe feel free to throw in a couple of really good ones and a couple of bad ones if you can think of any.
So,
Can
okay.
we make shit up?
I
Why
mean,
not? Self help books are doing it all the time. You could also do it.
hmm, sure.
Maybe
I
a
was
book
I
on
was
how to
angling
get on a New
for.
York bestseller.
I'm sure there's a book on that. I'm sure there's a book on that. But I was
Is
angling for
that
some
book on
real
New York
ones.
bestseller?
I
I
don't
want to
know.
know if that book is on New York
It
bestseller.
would be
If
so
not,
sad if
this is all
somebody wrote,
fraud.
yes, it is. It would be so sad if somebody wrote that and then it is not on the New York bestseller list.
Ashmita, since you are a voracious reader, any couple of
Okay,
book names you can throw out?
first of all, I legitimately have never, I don't remember the last time I picked up a book based on how, whether it was branded as New York bestseller or not. It is always, I find the title interesting. I look it up on Goodreads. If the ratings
Yeah,
and
yeah.
reviews seem good, I will take it up. But I do remember a couple of really shitty books on New York Times bestseller list, and unsurprisingly, they are mostly self help. So, you know
Hmm.
this grifter Robert Kiyosaki?
Yeah. I've heard
Yeah,
of
he's
that
a
name.
fully scam artist.
The monk who sold his Ferrari, is that the
No,
person?
no, that's another scam artist. This is that's a different scammer. This is the how to get rich
Ah,
guy. What
yes.
rich dad poor dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
So that his book was there. This one was definitely a New York Times bestseller. Then there was, I think, Eat, Pray, Love. That was a New York Times bestseller.
Hmm.
I don't exactly. Also a shit book. Oh God, such a bad book. I don't remember if actually genuinely the good books that I have read are on the list. For example, the Poppy War series or the First Law trilogy, Joe Abercrombie's. Then,
Mm.
these are Babel by again R.F. Kuang. I don't remember if these are at all on the list, but I do remember absolutely horrible books being on the list.
No, I have a question. How do you
Hmm.
guys select your books? Like, how do you shortlist which book do you want to read?
I
Like,
go on recommendations. I Like I have a few people who, whose tastes match with mine, and I found them through
Mm,
different places. For example, my sister and I have a very similar taste in fiction, fantasy fiction. We don't have a similar taste in non-fiction. So when she recommends
yeah.
fantasy fiction to me, I read that. I have a friend I met at a book club. We read the same kind of books. I told you about my professor. We read the same kind of books. When you talk to people, you understand it
Mm,
comes up, and then you come across, like, then you exchange recommendations. And then Goodreads has done a fantastic thing where a lot of authors are, I mean, Goodreads hasn't done that deliberately, it's just authors are on Goodreads, and
mm,
the authors I like, they recommend some books, and their reviews, like the reviews, the books that they have rated highly or have written a good review on, because I like that author, I will probably pick up what they have reviewed well. And if I like those, then I will continue following them for recommendations. So mine are fully based on that. I have no other discovery platform, and my to be read book list is big enough that even if I stop finding books today, I have enough for the next 10 years to read or something like that. So
mm.
there are far too many books in the world.
That is true. And almost all of them are on the NYT bestseller list.
I won't be surprised.
Yeah. So, coming back to the topic, talking about the list, the biggest question anyone would like to ask is it really based on just the sales? Any guesses from your end?
Considering it's bestseller, I would imagine it's only sales.
Fair enough.
Being in India, I feel you can maybe pay and get on the list. So I don't know. It
Fair
has
enough.
always been my thought, if you find something that's like a bestseller, even like for any product, not just books, I feel you
Hmm.
can just pay and get on the list.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Fair enough. The answer to the question, is it just based on sales? The short answer is no. The long answer is lol, right? So, so you'd be forgiven for thinking that bestseller means sold the most copies, like you alluded to, Ashmita, right? Unfortunately, it's just not that simple. The NYT list isn't a simple sales chart. It's an editorially curated list based on a secret sample of sales from a mysterious selection of bookstores, wholesalers, and online retailers. The key word and the emphasis is on secret sample of sales from a mysterious selection. And therein lies the whole issue. They don't.
I bet they're being
Wow.
paid for this. Somebody just
Yeah,
sends
yeah.
them out.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
bet nothing good goes there. So 100% they're being paid.
So like I referred to just now, the kicker is they don't tell you which stores they're taking the samples from,
Of
right?
course not.
They don't tell you how the weighting works. Weighting, I mean WEIGHTING, not
Yeah.
weighting, but the weightage of how they decide all of
Yeah.
this.
You could have
They
just
don't
used
tell
the
you.
word weightage instead of saying waiting, then spelling it out and then going. It is weightage.
Please don't be an obstruction on my path to wisdom, Ashmita. The thing is, it's not just they're not just mysterious to the people who are the consumers, that is, you know, they're mysterious to the publishers as well. They don't even tell them what the weightage is and how they're sampling all of this, right?
Amazing.
And you know what NYT refers to this as?
Hmm.
If you had to hazard a very random guess, what would you call this entire process?
Okay. Legitimately cannot come up with a guess.
NYT refers to
Yeah.
this as their secret methodology.
This
That's
is,
it. That's it. They refer to this as the secret methodology, and they just ask everyone to trust them on the process.
of course, why wouldn't you trust them?
And this is actually a web page on their website which details this secret methodology, which explains nothing. That is where that is where I got this information from, and they're extremely proud of this, by the way.
Of
Obviously,
course.
right? No, it's like for those Potterheads out there, it's like the Hogwarts sorting hat, but just drunk and full of corporate bias, right? So they,
Yep.
they, there is no logic, there is no reasoning, there is no explanation. It's just they decide, and that's how it is.
It's
That's it.
vibes.
Yeah, yeah, it's fully vibes, fully vibes. Also, in this secret methodology of theirs, bulk purchases are often excluded. So if you buy, say, 10,000 copies of your own book, and which, by the way, a lot of people do to bump up the
Yeah,
sales, right? NYT might notice this and slap a dagger right next to your listing. So that's how they demarcate. So a dagger is probably a questionable book on the list, right? So
dagger.
that's how they indicate. Yeah, yeah, that's how they indicate on their methodology list, whatever that looks like. And it's basically them saying we are watching you, like we have our eyes on you, and this sudden jump in the number of copies sold, it's a bit sus. And if they think your sales were shady enough, they'll just remove you from the list. As simple as that. And again, there is no logic or reasoning provided to this. It is totally up to their own vibes. So if they're not feeling in the mood, they just might remove you from the list and cite any reason such as this. Even though there might be some genuine sales. So imagine a scenario where there are genuinely 10,000 copies being sold overnight because the book is just that good. That is also a possibility, right?
Yeah.
But if they're not feeling like it, they just might remove you from the list.
Especially today, like just giving, I don't know if this is relevant, but the way people promote books has also changed a lot.
Yeah,
So a
yeah.
lot of, like, I follow this lady, Solitaire Townsend. She's a journalist, and she's
Why
now,
does she sound like a casino game?
how mean, that's her name. I don't know. Anyway, she was a journalist, and then she became a communications consultant, and now she's writing, she works on climate issues, and now she's written this book on, which is a climate fiction, right? So
Hmm.
cli-fi has become a genre, and her book is not yet out there. It's in the publishing process.
Hmm.
But because she has such a large following on different platforms online, she is getting people for pre-orders. She's creating a group of these people who will do customer research and everything in return of getting a book. People send you, which is a very, very old system as well. People send you beta versions of their books before it is
Hmm.
launched to the public. There are a lot of people who also send to their audiences, like they pick out 40, 50
Hmm.
people and actively ask for feedbacks, and nonfiction has a lot of that. So if you are a big enough name within your niche and your book is available on Kindle, 10,000 sales is nothing uh,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
for somebody who's like an expert launching a book
yeah,
on their niche. So New York Times
yeah,
has some catching up to do.
yeah. And I brought up all of this to emphasize on the point that the next time a Chetan Bhagat or some other author that you despise very strongly refers to themselves as an NYT best-selling author, just know in your heart of hearts that it counts for shit. It
Oh, I already know
it means
that.
nothing at all. No, just any author on this planet. So, however good or bad you might feel they are, the thing is, the NYT bestseller list just counts for fuck all.
Yeah.
At least to you as a reader, maybe it might mean something to your Netflixes or Amazon Primes or whoever else or your TEDx, but it means fuck all to you as a reader because it genuinely is not a good yardstick to judge a book by. That's where I'm coming from, right?
A question. Do you know
Yeah,
how many books they publish as a bestseller list? Like, is it top 100? Is it top 1,000? Is it top 10,000? How many is it per week?
it's not decided. It's open ended. It's
Oh,
again, it's totally down to what their mood is, what their vibe is, what their whims are. So they are the sole proprietors of this entire exercise, whoever the small group of people doing this is. And so totally up to them.
fun job, no,
Totally up
though?
to them. Yeah, yeah. You get to decide people's futures, just JLT,
Hmm.
you know. So, and this now the next part, this refers to what you were talking about, Prakhar. How people cheat their way onto the list. That's what we'll try and cover in this section. Obviously, wherever there is scope for gaming the system, there are players who try to make the most of it, such as the truth of life. Here, it is an actual business model called bestseller laundering. There's a terminology involved also in this, right? Like this is money laundering's distant cousin, and we're playing with books here, right?
And much more innocent cousin. It seems
Yeah.
like not much of a crime, to be very honest.
Yeah. One such company, entity, call it whatever, is called Result Source, right? So meet Result Source, a company that for a six-figure fee will orchestrate your book's debut on the NYT list. They do it as a service, right?
I'm sorry. Which idiot is paying them? Do they know how much money authors make? Like, you are.
I mean, for some people, it's a vanity project, right? Not everyone is writing out of the love for writing books. Some people are doing it to showcase how big they are. And I'll drop a notable example in about 5 minutes. Just wait for it.
Are you going to talk about Donald Trump's book? Then it is going to be very depressing to me, Sandy.
So here's how Result Source or other companies like Result Source go about doing this thing. What they do is they buy thousands of copies of your book. Obviously, they do bulk buying, but they are not like idiotic enough to just go to the first store they come across and buy about 10,000 copies. What they do is they find different retailers and they buy from these different retailers on different days to sort of mimic the natural demand for any book.
Yeah.
Right. Then they spread it out across NYT's sample pool, and somehow they know where all the sampling is taking place. I'm sure they must have an inside track or someone. Right?
Again, NYT is not one of the most ethical outlets.
Yeah. So
I'm sure
it's
there are
very,
inside tracks.
all of this is extremely believable, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't need any
fully.
scientific evidence for all of this. Based on whatever little understanding I have, this is very believable, and this happens all the fucking time, right?
Yeah, fully
So-
believable. Not an ounce of doubt I have on this.
Yeah. And boom, that's how your bestseller sticker is unlocked, right?
Amazing.
It's basically as simple as that. So this has been, believe it or not, used by CEOs, pastors,
course.
influencers, aspiring cult leaders. Sometimes it works, sometimes, and I'm using quotes here because this is going to be an audio podcast. Sometimes the NYT people catch on, right? and they remove you.
I love how this is taken seriously. Like, why? This is taken
Right.
like we have found malicious activity. Yes, friend, it's
Yeah,
fine. Calm down. It's
Be
the dumbass
careful.
is-
Be careful, or your source on the inside might put a dagger next to your book's name. You know.
Oh, God.
Well, a notable example is about the bestest, most beautiful, most wordy book ever written. Any guesses who might have written that?
Most wordy book? It's Donald Trump.
I'll.
Bestest? It's Donald Trump.
It is. I'm talking about the book Triggered by Donald Trump Jr. So, Triggered, the book by Donald Trump, it made the list, but to no one's surprise, it came with a dagger next to its name
Of course.
because bulk purchases were suspected. And again, I genuinely need no evidence to believe that this must be true
Of
because
course.
clearly it was a vanity project.
Also, I
And,
wouldn't, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the fan following, MAGA people,
Yeah.
just one day decided to go out and just buy all of these books. Like, I wouldn't be in the least surprised, you know. I don't know if you know
Yeah.
about this. The people poured in their life savings into Donald Trump's NFT, into the
Yeah.
truth platforms, whatever fundraising he was doing. And the audacity of doing fundraising, it's
I don't know for sure, but I'm fairly certain this book came out before he became the president for the first time also. So this was a while
okay.
ago.
Okay.
right? So there was still no MAGA fanaticism around that time.
Okay.
So anyone with any iota of common sense or understanding would never invest their money in a book written by Donald Trump. But
No, so but
get,
did the sale change after he became the president? Like, did people buy more or burn more of his books?
I'm sure. I'm definitely there. I don't know. I don't know the exact stats behind it, but I'm fairly certain there must have been an uptake in the sale because if people are buying NFTs, a book is a significantly cheaper option.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And you actually get something when you buy a book, unlike an NFT.
yeah.
But
Yeah, at least you can roll it up, use it as a rolling paper or something.
yeah,
There
or
are
just
multiple uses to
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Anyway, the best bunch of people around anywhere across the world, conservatives and religious groups, have repeatedly been caught bulk ordering their own books to game the system.
Mhm.
Right? Again, we don't need
Wholly
any evidence of any
believable.
kind to
Yep.
believe this. Yeah.
Wholly believable. You mean to say religious people do scams? Oh no, what a surprise.
I mean, just imagine this, dude. Imagine spending millions just to call yourself a bestseller. If there are any aspiring authors listening to this, by chance, if you've mistakenly come across this episode somehow, please know that we can do all of this for you at a fraction of the cost.
Yes. I was just
Yes.
thinking about it.
Like, we won't even take six-figure sums. We can take four-figure sums also. We are okay with that.
Four
That
figures too less.
there, but
Five.
we'll figure out five-figure. Fine, we'll figure out. The conditions apply. The only condition is nothing of this will be legally binding. So just if you and might I add, what they are doing right now is also not legally binding.
Yeah.
Because so would you rather spend six figures and take a chance, or would you rather spend five figures and take a chance?
Yeah.
I think you, and also we are based out of India, cheap labor, so just
I mean, I was just about to say this, that if the list also, like New York Times, I'm sure New York Times bestseller list also has like stores, their secret stores,
yeah.
sampling done from India as well. And just the fact that we are so many, the chances
Yeah,
of
yeah.
it being picked up from India are significantly higher. And that is why somebody like Ravinder Singh, whose book literally has the sentence, "She smiled, her mouth was full of teeth." This is literally from his book. I remember this because I read this couple of sentences and I closed the book and I was like, I'm done. I cannot read this fucking book anymore. So that was on the bestsellers list. That means there's a better chance. So hit us up at don'tknowdocare1@gmail.com or DM us on DKDC podcast on Instagram.
Thank you for doing that, Ashmita.
Mhm.
Moving on, now we'll talk about the next part, which has to do with what being on the list does for you as an author. Obviously, besides massaging your ego and your, doing it a vanity exercise of some kind, but what does it actually do? What are the tangible benefits of being on the list? I very briefly alluded to some of the factors at the top of the episode, but just slightly more detail. Say that you're on the list now. Congratulations. What now? Obviously, publishers will throw more money at you for your next book because you're on the bestseller list. So all they can see is your dollar symbols in their eyes, the cartoons that show, right? Publishers do that. Bookstores will place your book more prominently. The front table arrangement thing that they do at those bookstores,
Yeah.
right? That you get more in-store marketing because your book is on the bestseller list. So that again leads to possibly more book sales. TV film agents get on the phone pretty much immediately and start calling you. If your book does significantly well, there's a show deal or a movie deal on the line for you. Foreign rights sales become significantly easier again because you're a NYT bestseller. Again, like I referred to, speaking gigs pay significantly more. Right?
Yeah.
Now that you're the NYT bestseller, you get for the same amount of hours you go and talk shit somewhere, you will be getting paid significantly more.
Yeah.
All of this is to say that it's less about selling the books and more about selling the illusion of success. And unfortunately, it works. all of this is basically a grand branding exercise, right? Some authors actually end up losing money trying to get on the list because they bulk buy their way in, or they end up using the services of one of those companies who does this
Scam.
bestseller laundering,
Mhm.
the technical term, bestseller laundering. But most of the authors who end up losing money on this, they see this as a marketing expense because down the line they say the bigger picture and all of that. Now, on the topic of a marketing expense, Ashmita, your thoughts as someone from the field of marketing, like what's your sense of how all of this is, and purely if you were to look at it as a marketing expense, what are the pitfalls, if any, that you foresee in this?
Hmm, I don't know. I would have to think far more. But if I was
No,
to
off the
look
top
at
of
it
your head. Yeah.
just as a grifter, just logically, marketing expense should be, it's of course in the initial parts of doing a marketing expense, your expense is higher than your revenue, right? But the idea of a marketing expense is 4 years, 5 years down the line, the likelihood of the revenue significantly increasing. Like you want your marketing expense, every marketing dollars worth of revenue generated to proportionately
Hmm.
increase, which I just
Yeah.
don't see happening in this part. Because again, do you know how little authors are paid? So, I mean,
Yeah.
writing is not a lucrative career. Many legitimately good authors have not made a significant living out of just writing. Just look at the comparison. Tolkien was not a rich man and he was a
Hmm.
very, very good author. On the other hand, J.K. Rowling is a very rich woman and she's a shit ass author. So, and also she does not make most of her money from sale of books, but she makes most of her money from her other grifts, right? Like
Yeah.
the merchandise and the whole empire built around Harry Potter, right? So
Yeah.
it just seems like a very bad marketing decision also. Like it's
Yeah.
never going to end up repaying you like that. And if it does, it's the probability is so low that you shouldn't put in this money unless you have it lying around like Donald Trump.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically where I wanted to get to, is that there's a good chance that all of this bestseller laundering is not being undertaken by authors who are probably indie authors, right? Or lesser known authors, because this
Yeah,
just won't have that financial backing to do this. The only people who can actually afford to do this are people who have like a significant amount of six-figure sums lying around,
yeah,
just like that, right? And it's a significant investment, and usually people who do that are doing that to sort of massage their egos and ensure that they end up getting the sticker rather than going by the virtue of their actual writing or the content or the whatever the book is supposed to provide, right? Okay, moving on, the next section, I want to very briefly explore why is everyone and their pet now a best-selling author, right? So very briefly on that, the very simple answer is categories. That's why.
right. Yeah.
Like I alluded to at the top of the episode, there are now just so many lists that it's easier to become a bestseller in at least something. Imagine you're a writer, Ashmita, right? You're an author who is getting her book published. All you have to do is pick a niche category like paperback business advice, right?
I'm
Just
sorry.
pick a niche.
Why is why is paperback business advice different from hardcover business advice?
That's how these categories work. That's why every other book is on the bestseller list.
Even
Yes.
even by the literal just physical construct of the book.
Yes.
So what if I
That is
publish one on
literally,
like a specific kind of glossy paper? Will it become a different category?
I don't know. Ask the NYT people, man. I'm just telling you how I know it. I don't know. Might I remind you, it's a secret methodology. Okay. And I am not aware of those secrets. No one
Okay.
is. Right.
Fair.
After picking this niche ass category, something like paperback business advice, what you will do next, Ashmita, is you will release your book during a slow week. So, for example, a holiday week. or like a major sports event is going on, like Super Bowl Sunday or something, right? So in the build up to Super Bowl, everything will be centered around the Super Bowl, right? All the PR media attention will be around the Super Bowl. So that's technically a slow week in terms of book sales. So what you'll do is you'll pick that niche as category, you'll release your book during the slow week, and all you need to do is hit the very bare minimum threshold. So sometimes it's as low as 2,000, 3,000 books per week. As soon as you hit that minimum threshold on a slow week in this niche as category, congratulations, Ashmita, you are a New York Times bestseller now, right?
Oh my God.
So yeah, so you've now outranked some other random books like how to not die alone or Soup for the Lazy Soul or some shit like that. Now in that paperback business advice category, you're a bestseller now, Ashmita.
Amazing.
And there's even a trick called category switching, wherein publishers re-release the same book in a
Oh
new
my
format.
God.
They release the same book in a new format to hit the list again in a different category. So imagine if your book in the paperback business advice sells 3,000 books. What your publisher might decide to do is shift it to the hardback business advice category, Ashmita. And then
Retargeting.
and then you'll become an NYT bestseller all over again. Congratulations, you're a two-time NYT bestseller author, Ashmita. Your life is changed
Hoko.
forever now.
Hoko tali. दो बार ठोको ताली.
So possibly you might get twice the amount of speaker opportunities. You know, you might get twice the amount of sales now.
I'm so tempted to actually do this.
I mean, this is a win-win situation, dude. What's the worst that will happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, some Indian Bollywood director will make a movie on your bestseller. That's the worst that can happen.
I get more royalty from that. I can then
Sure, you
I can
think.
then retire.
See, the thing is, the quality threshold is so low for all of this, even for movie shows, even books in this case. So again, a hypothetical question, I'm throwing it out. If you guys could write really well, again, might I reiterate, this is not a threshold for this section. Again, you don't necessarily need to write really well. But if you could, which category would you be gunning for to get into the bestseller list? And imagine you can just make up a category because there's a good chance that's an actual category. Now, you know all the book related keywords out there, your paperbacks, your hardbacks, business advice, self-help, blah, blah, blah. You can either choose to pick one of the existing categories or you can just make up a fucking random category of your own just by rearranging some of these words. So which ones would you be gunning for? And secondly, which would be the other category you will again sell your book in?
Yeah. Like
after switching the category.
I think just make a combination of 3 different things. For example, I don't know, a category of debunking self-advice, right? Like self-help. Like self-help as a keyword comes in, but then you are debunking. It's a fully different category, and you do it in.
That's not a full category, Ashmita. I am sorry to disappoint you. That's not a full
If
category.
self-help is a category, you just told me I can make up categories. What the fuck?
I thought you will do some permutation combination of the existing keywords out there, not add a new keyword.
So that is what I'm saying. That's how. Also, excuse you, please learn more about this. That's how keywords work. You take one thing and then you add on to appear in those particular lists.
You're no fun, Ashmita. You're no fun.
I'm logical.
You're not playing by my rules. I set the rules out there. I wanted to play the game.
You did not tell me. But okay, maybe self-help, that's sci-fi, which is not far away from actual self-help either, right? So fully like sci-fi self-help books, right?
Okay,
And it could
but how will you retarget it as then?
So I'll first put it in self-help, then I will put it in sci-fi, then I will put it in paperback self-help sci-fi, then I will put it in But it's just shifting
Prakhar,
words, right?
any inputs from your end? Any books that you aspire to write, and what are the categories you aspire to be the bestseller in?
See, one very obvious would be something related to music. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
that is one. The other one would be, I think, children books because they sell a lot.
So
So
music for
I don't know.
children, music books for children, then
Yeah,
books
could
for
be. Could
children, then
yes,
historical music books, then
yes,
historical books for
Yeah.
children. So many options.
yes.
Praka, do it.
Yeah. See.
Prakhar, you're a bestseller now in 5 categories. What will you do with all of that money?
No, sorry, not five. Wait, not five. Five of these in paperback, and then five of those in
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
cover.
Yeah.
So you are
Yeah.
now in 10.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
ebook also like a category where I can be like a bestseller?
Who cares, man? Genuinely.
Also,
I mean,
there is now the concept of audiobooks, and our friends have told you
yeah,
that we become
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
storyteller. So it's now 15. Okay, and if ebook is also there, then
yeah.
20. So Prakhar, go for it.
By the end of this episode, Prakhar will literally be swimming in money like Scrooge, Uncle Scrooge, literally swimming in and out of treasures. For like the two people who don't get that reference, what are you doing with your life, man? Go and watch DuckTales. Like, at least I'm pretty sure all of us grew up on DuckTales. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless we have like really young listeners,
yeah.
like babies, like those born in fake ass years like 2010 or 2012.
Just like both Ashmita and Prakhar aspire to be best-selling authors in like 5 different categories, they'll require some element of category switching. So similarly, we'll also be switching the sections now. And before we switch the section, we'll be taking a very short break. We'll see you on the other side. Welcome back from the break. Hope you had a good one. Now, in the next section, we'll very briefly refer to some lawsuits, some gatekeeping, and why really the NYT doesn't care. So, here we are referring to controversy. And I just want to bring about one notable controversy. Yes, controversy, Ashmita. So, obviously,
Thank you, Ashmita.
there are multiple controversies, but this is just one of the more notable ones that I came across. So, I just wanted to, present it here. William Peter Blatty. He is the guy who wrote The Exorcist. Based on the movie is based on the book The Exorcist. He sued the NYT in 1983 because his book wasn't listed despite outranking others in actual sales. By sheer volume, his book was significantly ahead, but it wasn't listed in the bestseller list. And in their defense, NYT claimed, and I quote here, "We are not a data company. We are a newspaper. This is our editorial opinion." And they won the case. NYT won the case.
Why are they calling it bestseller list then?
Again, the methodology is a secret, Ashmita.
The name isn't. They shouldn't call it. They just should call it like an editorial collection or something like that, like NYT recommends or
But
something like that.
branding also, no. It just does not resonate the
This is
same
just
way as the
asshole
bestseller
behavior.
list does. Yeah, of course it is. all of this is to say that basically they don't have to follow any rules because the list is considered an opinion and not a fact. If it were a fact, they would be held liable.
Yeah, that is true for all of NYT's reporting also. So fair enough. I get it.
And like I mentioned, there are a host of other issues as well, as you might imagine. So some of them are indie authors, if rarely, if ever, make it to the list because, well, they just don't have the resources to make it to the list. Conservative authors, imagine they also have some issue with all of this. Conservative authors often accuse the NYT of, and I use this term very loosely, liberal bias.
Of course,
Right.
I knew it. I knew this was coming.
Yeah, I mean, right around this point of time, I'm pretty sure no one can accuse NYT of having a liberal bias. So make of that what you will. The NYT has never explained why some high-selling books get ignored while others get celebrated because they just don't have to. So all of this is basically prestige wrapped in opacity, served with a side of elitism. So the more money you have, the more contacts you have, the more easily you will make it to the list. It's as simple as that.
So
right?
that's pretty much the definition of capitalism. So we're
Yeah,
good.
yeah. This is a thing I've started doing now, that the most fun segment of all of my episodes.
How we play a game?
Yes, we play a game. And today I am calling this game bestseller or BS. So BS or BS. So we have to decide which BS it is, right? We've
Crazy.
been we've been here before. You know the rules. I don't need to go through the rules. But very briefly, if there is someone new joining us for this episode as a listener, I just very quickly let you know. I'll name a book and its author. Either Ashmita or Prakhar will tell me whether it was an actual New York Times bestseller, or if I just had a fever dream and came up with this name of the book and the author after having too much coffee. Right? As simple as that.
Mm-hmm. I like how
So
out of all of the things that you have in a day, coffee is the one you went with, Sandy, right now.
that's the easiest to digest.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 point for each correct answer. Winner gets to call themselves a New York Times podcaster for the next week. Right? But the loser has to read a self-help book of our choice and wax lyrical about it.
Oh,
Right? So
actually, this
that's the dare.
should be fun. Yes, okay. Okay, let's go for it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are both of you on board with this? Okay with this?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one, again, we'll start alphabetically. Ashmita, Prakhar, Ashmita, and we'll do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Starting with you, Ashmita. The Orchid Thief by Susan Orlean. BS or BS?
No, but what BS and BS? What BS is BS?
BS number 1 is bestseller. BS number 2 is bullshit.
Yes.
Oh.
So The Orchid Thief by Susan Orlean. BS or BS, Ashmita?
I think this was in the list. Bestseller list.
Prakhar, what about you?
I think it's bullshit. BS2.
So that's 1 point to Ashmita. It's a very real book. It's a true story about obsessive orchid collectors in Florida. It made the bestseller list in the late 90s. A fun fact, it also inspired the film adaptation. It was an adaptation of the book, but the film was also called Adaptation. So not to get confused. Right?
God.
So the film starred Nicolas Cage and Meryl Streep. So very heavyweights. So it's a very serious film also, which somehow made orchids very depressing and very sexy. So make of that what you will.
Excuse me, depressing and sexy.
Yes. You will have to watch the movie to make more sense of it. I haven't. So
Okay.
now the second one. Prakhar, it's your turn now. Cooking for Grumpy Husbands by Felicity Trundle. BS or BS?
I know it's bullshit, but I want it to be a bestseller. No, but bullshit.
Ashmita?
I think this was on the list.
What?
I wouldn't
So
be
this time
surprised if
around-
this was 40s or 50s. I wouldn't be surprised.
This time around, the point goes to Prakhar. It's fake. It's completely fake. It's BS.
Gee.
But you believe it for
Yeah,
a second, right? Yeah.
I wouldn't
It's
actually be surprised if this was
Yeah.
correct.
It's a pity it's not an actual book. If anyone out there wants to take it upon themselves to make this into an actual book, you are free to have the title, but provided you reach out to us to do the promotioning and the making it onto the NYT bestseller list, we can work something out. You can have the
We
name
know
of
the
the
trick
book.
now.
Yeah.
We know the trick.
Yeah. Please reach out to us and we'll mention it again at the end of the episode. Back to you, Ashmita. The Devil in the White City by Eric Larson. BS or BS?
I cannot remember if Eric Larson is an actual author or not. I know some Larson is. This is getting very annoying, Sandy. What did you say the name was again?
The Devil in the White City.
I think it is. I think it's a real book and it's in the list.
Prakhar?
I also think it's a real book. So bestseller.
Point for both of you.
Yeah.
It's a non-fiction thriller about a serial killer hiding inside the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. Because obviously the only thing Americans love more than fairs is murder at the fairs. So, well, it became a bestseller. Right. Back to you, Prakhar. Why Fish Don't Exist by Lulu Miller. BS or BS?
What is this? Why are we obsessed with this word Lulu?
What do you mean? That's her name. I didn't give her another name.
You might have.
Lulu
We don't know.
Lulu CF, then Lulu.
Remember, the
Yeah.
Lulu CF episode is not out, Prakhar. We can't
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
I think it's bullshit.
Ashmita,
What is the name again?
why fish don't exist?
There's a podcast very similar to ours called There's No Such Thing as a Fish. And I'm
Yeah.
wondering if you've just taken from that and made it this. Yeah,
What's your guess then?
I think it's bullshit.
Well, no points to either one of you. It's a real book, and it is on the NYT Bestseller List. It's a weirdly philosophical book about taxonomy, chaos, and mental breakdowns.
Wow.
It hit the NYT list. It hit the NYT list in 2020. Proof that even fish denial can sell. So that's 2 points each to both of you, right?
Yeah.
Now, Ashmita, it's back to you. Kale is My Spirit Animal by Jennifer Palgrave. BS or BS?
No, this is the latter BS,
And what is that?
which is bullshit.
Prakhar?
I think it's a real book. So bestsellers.
Point to Ashmita. It's a
Yeah,
fake
it just
book,
sounds super
but
fake.
it's
That's the thing.
100%.
It's
But it's 100% believable though. The thing is, you can
Yeah.
never tell.
Yeah.
So just in case, hypothetically, if it existed somewhere out there, it would have a foreword by Gwyneth Paltrow and smell
Yes.
faintly
Yes.
and smell faintly of goop and judgment. And for those who don't know, Goop is the name of her company. I'm not making that shit up. That's actually the brand that she owns. Okay, Prakhar, back to you. 3-2 to Ashmita. Educated by Tara Westover. BS or BS?
educated. I think it's bullshit.
Ashmita?
I think it's a real book and it was on the list.
Another point to Ashmita. It's a real book.
Oh.
Tara Westover
It's a real
sounds like a name that Sandy wouldn't cook up. I'll be honest. That's how I judged
What?
it. Yeah.
So it is basically a memoir of a woman who grew up in a survivalist family with zero schooling and ended up with a Cambridge PhD.
Wow.
Hit number one on the NYT list. Well, because nothing sells more than childhood trauma and redemption arcs. So
That is true. That is true.
True.
But also very impressive. Like, well,
Yeah.
good on her.
Okay, Ashmita, your turn. 4-2 to you. Lessons in Duck Herding by James H. Corbett.
No,
BS or BS?
This is BS. This is bullshit.
Prakhar.
Can you repeat the name?
Lessons in Duck Herding by James H. Corbett.
Bullshit.
You both get a point. It is bullshit. Though,
Sandy,
if it were real,
well done on coming up with these names. Like, I don't know how you're doing
Yeah.
it, but really fucking good.
if it were real, half of Instagram would own it for the aesthetics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, ducks are big on Instagram. So
Really?
anyway,
I did not know that. What the fuck? Why?
The scores are 5-3 to Ashmita because ducks are cute, man. Ducklings are cute. I mean,
yeah, okay. Fair.
And maybe
Prakhar,
tasty.
Oh God, Prakhar.
possibly. I wouldn't know.
They taste like
Prakhar's
chicken,
turn.
to be honest. Yeah, Prakhar's
Yeah.
turn.
A Short History of Nearly Everything by Bill Bryson. BS
Of
or
course, it's a
BS?
bestseller.
Yeah, I think so. Because
Ashmita?
Bill Bryson is a real author also. He has written like numerous non-fiction map saying and everything. So it is a bestseller.
It is a bestseller. So points for both of you. 6-4 is the score. It came out in 2003, hit multiple bestseller lists. You know how. It's basically
No, okay.
It's basically-
He's genuinely a good author.
I know. But now that I have this seed of doubt in my mind, I can never look past it, I will always look through this
Yeah.
lens now.
Fair.
It's basically science for people who hated science. Written by a man powered
yeah.
entirely by curiosity and dad jokes.
He's actually pretty good. Pretty good author.
Yeah. Ashmita, your turn. The Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule. BS or BS?
Dude, there are so many the stranger wale books, like the books beginning with the stranger. Now I cannot figure if this was a real one or not a real one. Just for the fuck of it, I would say bullshit. I genuinely have
Prakhar?
no idea.
I think it's a real book, so it made it to the list.
Prakhar's point this time. It's a real book.
Yeah.
The scores are 6-5. It's a true crime classic. Surprisingly, the author actually worked with Ted Bundy before realizing he was a serial killer, right?
Ooh.
Because back in the
Jesus.
70s, background checks and HR was not a real thing. No one took it seriously. So,
Fuck.
yeah, I forgot whose turn is it? Prakhar's turn. Yes. Mindful Tax Filing for Millennials by Corey J. Benson. BS or BS?
Bullshit. Sandy, even you know it's bullshit.
This is bullshit.
It is bullshit. But I think we should write it. We should write it. It would go something along the lines of take a deep breath, now report your income, exhale your regrets.
You know what I'm working on right now is I'm working on Sandy's tell, so that I can I know that there'll be more games, and then if I crack this Sandy's tell, I'll win.
Good luck to you.
I know Sandy enough to know that is not going to be possible.
I mean, not to pat myself on my back, but I have a very good poker face.
Very good poker face. Very good poker face.
Okay, we'll just run through the last two. Ashmita, your turn. Stiff, The Curious Lives of Human Cadavers by Mary Roach. BS or BS?
Maybe it's on the list.
No, I don't want a maybe. I want it's a black or white question. Yes or no?
Yeah. So now my option is I don't know now, but I'm choosing it's on the list.
Prakhar, what about you?
I think it's bullshit.
Sorry to disappoint you, Prakhar. It's a real book. It was on the bestseller list. It's a book about corpses and it made the bestseller list, So, yeah, the scores are 7-5 to Ashmita.
Prakhar, you got to read the book.
Yeah, you have to read a self-help book and you need to wax lyrical about it during the next episode.
Also, is it possible for me to recommend a book to Prakhar to read? Like, can I decide that book?
Sure, you're the victor, you can. But before you do that, let me quickly run through the last one also so that we can close out the segment.
Yeah.
Prakhar, Don't Worry, Be Crappy by Joe Carbo Jr. BS or BS?
It'll be funny and fun to have this book on the list. So I think it's the bestseller.
I think it's bullshit.
Ashmita?
Bullshit.
It is bullshit. So it is absolutely bullshit.
Don't worry. Be crappy.
If it were a book, it would be the sequel to every optimism book ever written,
Yep.
So
Yeah.
if it were an actual book, I'm just guesstimating, it would have sort of like an orange book cover with the word hustle written somewhere across it somewhere on the book cover, So
do you know how close you're getting to actual self-help books also written this way? Like orange cover is very popular. Like it is.
Yeah. Why do you think I brought it up? Yeah.
Okay.
That was a game. Ashmita, just to close it out, Ashmita won the game 8-5. So by a considerable margin. So now Ashmita will get to decide what is the self-help book that Prakhar will be reading, and not just doing feeding it to ChatGPT and getting a synopsis out of it.
I will get you an e-copy if I can.
Yeah.
The book is I just looked it up because I had forgotten the name. The book is called Why We Want You to Be Rich: 2 Men, 1 Message. Okay, and the book is.
I think it's a bullshit book.
No. It is a real book. It's a real book, but you have to guess the authors. There are 2 authors. One of them is Robert Kiyosaki and the other one is Donald Trump.
Nice.
Why We Want You to Be Rich: 2 Men, 1 Message. Prakhar, you got to read this.
You genuinely have to give heartflip praise to the book.
I will ask questions because the book is so dumb that you can actually go through it in 1 hour. So I will flip and I will ask questions.
But also, apart from the questions, Prakhar also genuinely has to give heartfelt praise to the book and what he liked the most about the book, like probably about 5 things that he loved the most about the book and why he would recommend it to other people also.
One thing I can tell you right now is the good thing about that book is that no one should read it. If you don't read it, nothing will change in your life.
Prakhar, we agreed upon this before the game. You have to do it. You have no option. There is no way out of this. You have to give us 5 things you loved the most, and they have to be very genuine compliments.
Oh
And I
my
can
God.
tell.
I'm so
Right?
glad I won this.
To
See,
add
when
some
we
fun
started this podcast, it was all about like having fun and like it shouldn't feel like
Prakhar, I don't know about you, but I am having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I also want to be on that side of the podcast. No,
Next
I
of
mean,
Sandy's episode.
no one is stopping you from having a similar game segment and a similar dare on your episode.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
you can do that if you
it's
choose to do so.
fine. It's fine to be a host and to be on the winning side,
Yeah.
Prakhar, we
not
agreed
on
on
this
this.
side.
Prakhar, we agreed on this. You got to do this now. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
We did not shake on it, all right?
We did virtually.
That's pretty much the end of the episode. I hope you got some key takeaways on what the NYT bestseller sticker means. And it basically means fuck all. That's the gist of the entire episode. If this is the only portion you listen to in the entire episode, you would have listened to pretty much the entire episode. That's the key takeaway from this episode, right? And that's where I'll close out this episode. And now on to my recommendation.
Recommendation time.
In terms of recommendation, this is a show that I sort of tried to introduce to Ashmita. She's still not fully invested in it, but I think it's really fun. And the show is called Archer. It's on Netflix. It's it's an animated show. It has, I think, about 12, 13, 14 odd seasons, but at no point in the episode will you get bored. It's just absolute nonsensical comedy, and it is hilarious as fuck. It's very witty, very dry, very, sometimes even very intelligent humor. And it makes you think because there are some deep cut references there. So, I mean, if you get the time and you just want to while away some time, go to Netflix, watch Archer. And I don't think you will regret that. And on that note, we will be taking your leave. If you have any such recommendations, any NYT bestsellers that you would like to recommend to us for the next time such a dare falls on either Prakhar's or Ashmita's head, please do write to us at don'tknowdocare1@gmail.com. The one is numerical. Or you may drop in a message on Instagram at DKTC Podcast, and we'll take you up on the dares during one of my next episodes. And until the next time, take care. Bye-bye.